Hello, my friends. It's good to be with you again today, albeit virtually. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you are enjoying being with your Westside community this Sunday morning. I think it's safe to say, at least from my perspective, and I'm sure the vast majority of those gathered in the Westside Sanctuary this morning, that things are not going particularly well in the United States right now. The president is incompetent, a bully, a hateful bigot, and is politically spiteful. He has even said out loud he's unsure if he's required to uphold the Constitution despite the oath of office. I'm not going to list all the things going wrong right now. Most of you know what they are, and many of you are actively trying to do something about it, and I thank you for those efforts. Now, with the murder of the conservative activist Charlie Kirk in Utah, and yet another school shooting that seems to have received little coverage in comparison, I think it is also safe to say things are going to get worse before hopefully America decides she's had enough of this and course corrects for the better. But I believe it will be a long, slow process. And the hope by those who are creating all of this chaos is that we will get tired and quit trying to challenge things, that we will feel defeated and give up, that we will surrender into the belief that there is nothing we can do to stop this onslaught. And in the midst of all this, while I feel so negative and close to depressed much of the time, I've started to wonder if there is anything to be happy about right now. Can I even be happy right now? Do I have the right to be happy with all that is going on today? We do have the right to be happy in America, don't we? We all know Thomas Jefferson, the creator of the Declaration of Independence, wrote in that document that we are given certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We are given, according to the Declaration, the rights of life and liberty, and it seems to say that though happiness is not guaranteed the same way, the ability to pursue it is a right all Americans should have. Even when things are going sideways, even when things look bleak, even when the country is at war with others or itself, we have the right to pursue happiness. It is, I believe, difficult for most of us here to be happy with all that is going on right now. So I wondered if there was something I could do, something I could try to perhaps trick myself into a bit of happiness despite the state of current affairs. And then maybe I could pass these tips or tricks along to you so that together we might, if necessary, fake it until we make it. With that in mind, I picked up a book titled Stumbling on Happiness by Daniel Gilbert. Gilbert holds an endowed chair in the Department of Psychology at Harvard University. The book and the author received the prestigious Royal Society Science Book Prize. Surely, I thought, this person would know how I could make myself happy even under these present circumstances. Well, guess what, my friends? I was wrong. You see, Gilbert's research led him to the conclusion that we human beings have a very difficult time figuring out what makes us happy. That in our pursuit of happiness, our attempts are often repetitive and we make the same mistakes over and over again. You'll be glad to know our big brains are to blame for this. Initially, our brains were kept busy just trying to keep us alive. Since then, our species' brain has developed over millions of years into something quite different. But in the beginning, survival was basically all we thought about. It was likely only about 70,000 years ago that our brains evolved the ability to imagine the future. We could then project and guess what might happen in times to come. With our newly developed imagination, we could not only remember the past or appreciate the present, but we could actually project what might be in the days or years ahead. As such, it is the newest brain development found in the neocortex, which literally means the new layer. And unfortunately, it often gets things wrong. It turns out we are most often poor predictors of what lies ahead of us. And we are particularly poor predictors of our future feelings. The way we believe we will feel in the future, whether happy or sad, seems to have little relevance with what actually occurs. The things we believe will make us happy, more often than not, are inaccurate or sometimes even a little bit foolish in retrospect. Gilbert says our imagination does not take into account that our brains incorrectly fill in gaps, and it tends to add and remove details that we're unaware of. That our present is often a much better predictor of our future, and that our imagination does not understand that individually we may very well be a different person as we age and progress through upcoming years of life. Time and again, we believe we know what will make us happy, and time and again, when we get there, we find we were mistaken. We human beings are not very good fortune tellers, but the thing is, we strongly believe we are. Now, all of this reminded me of an old story you may have heard many times before. I know I've used it in a reflection in the past, but it seems especially relevant today. So if you'll indulge me, it goes something like this. There once lived an old farmer who had diligently tended to his crops for many years. He relied on his trusty, hard-working horse to plow the fields. But one day the horse broke through the fence and ran away. Upon hearing this news, the farmer's neighbors rushed over to the farmer to voice their concern. "What bad luck this is," they said. "You will not have your horse during the critical planting season." The farmer listened intently, nodding his head as if in agreement, smiling slightly. Then he spoke softly and said, "Bad luck, good luck. Who really knows?" A few days later, the horse, accompanied by 2 wild horses, returned to the farmer's stable. The farmer immediately realized that he could train these 2 new horses to help him plow his field more efficiently. Soon after, the neighbors heard about this and visited the farmer. "You are now blessed with 3 strong horses," they said in unison. "What great luck this is." But the laconic farmer simply replied, "Good luck, bad luck. Who really knows?" The farmer gave one of the untamed horses to his son. While riding the horse, the son was thrown off and broke his leg. The farmer's neighbors came round again and expressed their worry. "It's a shame that your son will not be able to help during planting season. This is such bad luck." The farmer smiled faintly and said, "Bad luck, good luck. Who really knows?" A few days later, the emperor's army rode ominously into town under gray clouds. The general's order was to draft the eldest son from every family into the army. One of the soldiers took one look at the farmer's son's broken leg and motioned to have him left behind. The army marched out of town, while tearful residents waved goodbye to their sons, knowing that they may not see them again. Later in the day, the neighbors gathered at the farmer's house. "You are the only family that did not have their son drafted into the army," they said. "This is such good luck." The farmer, who was busy with his chores, looked up and again said, "Good luck, bad luck. Who really knows?" Now, most people interpret this parable as a story that teaches us luck can be paradoxical. Bad luck can be very good luck, and vice versa. But another is that fate is a matter of perspective. And to me, this farmer understands the futility of attempting to predict what the future holds as he watches the other villagers make inaccurate projections. It could very well be the farmer is happier than most because of his outlook, an outlook that I believe is very different from most of ours. Not too long ago, someone I respect and who knows me well suggested I listen to a song. Well, in fact, she suggested I look at a particular video on YouTube that was the official video of the song she suggested. I'm going to be suggesting the same to you in just a moment, so I hope you might write this down or put a note in your phone as a reminder so you can watch this video sometime later today. The name of the song is a single word, joy. It is performed by guitar legend Carlos Santana and country music star Chris Stapleton. To easily find this on YouTube, you simply need to Google these 3 words: joy, video, Santana. It'll be the first thing that pops up, and you'll be able to click on the video image to watch and listen to the song. And if possible, I hope you'll watch the video on the largest screen possible, because I think virtually everyone I know at Westside will appreciate this content. In my opinion, the song and video offer a message that is very you. If you want to see the video but don't know how, I hope you'll ask another Westsider for assistance. Now, most of my days begin with this video. It starts my day in a much more positive way. After I see my spouse off to her job, I head back in the house and watch Joy on my television. Sometimes I watch it 3 times in a row before getting on with my day. It lifts me up, and for a few minutes, I definitely feel happy. Now, I think it's important to say that technically, joy is not happiness. Gilbert's book makes a good case that we do a poor job as a species in imagining what will make us happy. And I read one other author who said, happiness is often beautiful, but fleeting, whereas joy goes deeper, perhaps into the soul or very being of someone. Joy can be part of who we are. As I thought about things in my own life that bring me short-term happiness and long-term joy, I thought about Westside, because there are some things I've been reading lately about our congregation that have made me very happy. Just a few examples. I'm really happy when I read that additional seats have been needed in the sanctuary. I'm very happy when I read that Westsiders are getting out into the local community and interacting with our neighbors. I'm happy when we read that we have new people joining our congregation. And I can't tell you how happy I am when I watch Tanner give another wonderful reflection and how you all have responded to him. These things give me an immediate boost of happiness. But what brings me joy, long-term joy, is that Westside exists. That Westside is a sanctuary for progressives who resist in thought, word, and deed. That Westside is educating our youngest and more senior members and friends what it means to put love at the center of all we do. Let's no longer be satisfied with mere happiness. Let's seek out joy. Not just the video I hope you'll watch today, but joy that is deeper and long-term, and with it brings a level of peace and understanding. Thank you, Westside, for bringing joy into my life and hopefully to all who are gathered here in the search for truth and meaning. As we rise in body or spirit and join together in the singing of our closing hymn, number 100, I've Got Peace Like a River in Your Gray Hymnal, we will sing all verses unless your song leader specifies otherwise.